I didn't realize that you can still get blocked text messages on your laptop, and I just stumbled across one from a certain somebody saying I tarnished what we had, and what I'm posting on social media has ruined it. You want to know what tarnished what we had? Let's get into it. It's time. Part 1 of who the fuck did I take to Mexico, okay? So we wake up 3 a.m. before the plane ride. Already was scared because she is not good in the mornings, okay? Was always very angry. So I tried not to step on her toes, tried to stay out of her way until we got to the airport. We got on the plane, everything was fine, and then we sat next to each other, ordered a beer, and I accidentally spilled some of my beer on her leg. So what'd she do? Got up and went and sat on the opposite side of the aisle from me for the rest of the plane ride. And what'd I do? Looked outside the window and cried until I fell asleep, until we got to Mexico. The trip that I completely paid for and planned because she said I didn't plan any dates. Enough dates or get her enough flowers. Right. Okay. Yeah. So we get off the plane, we get to the shuttle that I booked, and we get on the shuttle. We have beers waiting for us, water waiting for us, and we get into a car crash. Not even 20 minutes into the ride. If that wasn't a sign enough itself from the Mayan gods, I don't know what it was. I should have taken it. But obviously I'm not good at like reading signs, okay? The first 2 nights were fine until the 3rd day came around and she was getting upset that she wasn't in control of the plan. So I told her we could do whatever she wanted to do because it was her birthday. And what she wanted to do was rent an ATV. So we went and got the ATV, we had it for the whole day, and then came nighttime. She looks at me and says, I want to go exploring. I said, okay. And so what did we do? We left our phones in the hotel room and started to drive the ATV in the dark in Mexico. We're going past the hotels, we're going past the shops. I'm asking her, where is she planning to go right now? What is her goal? And she says she wants to go to the arch. After the arch, it's pitch black. Like there are jaguar crossing signs. Okay, that was part 1. We're gonna stop. Part 2. Oh my god. At this point, I am begging her to turn it around and for us to do this in the daytime when we have our phones, because we left our phones to be more present in the moment. She's not answering me. She's just going and going faster. We're now past the arch and it's pitch black and it's the scariest thing I've ever experienced. And I'm begging her, screaming, please stop the ATV. Please stop the ATV. And she stops it as hard as she can, shoves me to the ground, looks me dead in my eyes, and then takes off and leaves me in the pitch fucking black. So what do? I get up and I start running for my fucking life because I don't know what else. I didn't know what else to do in that situation. I'm literally telling myself, you're gonna make it, Liv. You're gonna make it. All I can hear are the sounds of my footsteps on the fucking ground because you can't hear anything else. It's pitch black jungle, okay? For like 5 minutes, I'm running for my life. And the thoughts that were running through my head, I can't even put into words. But I see her headlights coming back. I see the headlights coming back, and as soon as she gets to me, she flips it on its side, and what do? I fucking still run over to her, and I'm like, baby, are you okay? Trying to make sure that she's okay. She shoves me, tells me to get the fuck off of her, that it's my fault we're in this situation, that I held her back. So I'm like, all right, you just crashed off an ATV, let me flip this over. It wouldn't start. So then I see a car coming down the street and I wave them down, and it was a car filled with 10 guys in the back of the truck, okay? And thank God that they were good people. I asked them to tow us to our hotel that's a few miles away. They tie up our ATV and she's steering it as we're now going 35 miles per hour behind the back of a truck in the middle of a jungle. She is swerving it, yelling at me, we're broken up, I'm breaking up with you, this is your fault, you're holding me back. And I'm literally saying, okay, we're broken up, okay, let's just talk about this when we get back, please stop swerving. I black out. I fly like 7 feet off the freaking ATV, my entire left side of my body, completely torn up, and I wake up and I see her already standing and she's making them leave us. Leave, we've got to figure it out, leave, thank you for your help. And now they're driving away as I'm picking myself up, and we're now stranded once again in the middle of the jungle with no phones. Now crashed off an ATV. So I push it to the side and I'm like, all right, let's just fucking go. Let's start walking. That's part 2, part 3 coming. So now we're walking back after both being crashed off an ATV, and I pushed it, by the way, into the jungle. I was like, I'll deal with this tomorrow. We're walking now and she is skipping back and forth. Woo, I'm single, where's my short Latina baddie at? Where's my little Latina baddie? I'm like, what am I even experiencing right now? So then we get into a taxi that happened to be driving down the street. We get into it, and we get taken to the hotel, and the hotel security had to escort her up to the room because she couldn't physically hold herself up. But the next day we woke up and it was her birthday. So it's now her birthday, and I've woken up and I'm kissing on her, loving on her, and I'm like, baby, it's your birthday, like let's have a good day today, let's pretend that yesterday didn't happen. And she shoves me away from her. She's like, we're broken up, I'm done with you, I don't want to spend my birthday with you, fuck you, and rolls her head into the pillow. So I'm like, how can I make her day better? Still trying. And I called the ATV guy and I was like, yo, we just crashed, can you have someone come pick me up to figure out what to do? And so he had someone come pick me up on a moped after just crashing on an ATV. So of course I didn't want to get on it, but I did. And we have to go find the ATV in the middle of the jungle. And we did. They assessed it. It was $800, so of course I just paid for it up front right away. And then I stopped at the pharmacy. I got her ibuprofen, Neosporin, bandages, anything I could think of. And I stopped at the front desk and I was like, hey, we just got in an accident. Do you have anything that could possibly help? And brought up a medical team to our room. And when they saw my wounds and then they saw hers, they were like, oh yeah, she needs help first. And I could just see her in the corner of my eye getting pissed off at the fact that I was getting help first. And I was like, I can't do anything right, dude. After the medical team leaves, I literally put Neosporin on her, put bandages on her, and I'm reapplying it every hour. And not once did she ask if I was okay. And I literally at one point was like, do you not understand that I also fell off an ATV too? That I'm doing everything I can today to make your day better. And you're just pushing me away. And all I got was an eye roll and then a turn into the pillow. So I spent that day for hours circling the hotel room, losing my mind, just thinking of what I could do to wake her up or make her feel better. And she knew I made reservations for 8:30. She wakes up at 8 o'clock, of course, shoots up right out of bed. She goes, you know what, I'm gonna spend my birthday alone. Fuck you. It's the end of that part. Okay, I had to get myself some water. So it's 8 o'clock. I'm already ready to go. I'm in a pretty dress. I'm ready to go to dinner. She leaves me in the hotel room. So I'm like, okay, I literally, of course, start crying again, and I get into the bed. I'm ready to go to sleep at this point. I'm like, I'm just going to sleep this day away. 2 hours goes by, and then I get a text from her saying that she's getting a tattoo down the street and that I should pull up. At this point, I just wanted to see my girlfriend. So what did I do? I got in a taxi and I told her I was on the way. And she told me, baby, I'm so sorry for the way I reacted today. You planned such an amazing birthday for me. I just want my birthday to be manic, quote unquote. So I said, let's just talk about this when we get back to the States. Let's have a great rest of your birthday. I love you. And I show up to the tattoo shop, and what do I see? The first thing when I walk in, 5 girls taking shots with her. All right, okay. What am I walking into? There's 3 girls that I love, still talk to this day. 2 girls, you guys can eat this. Eat it. They're flirting with her right in front of me, literally calling her sexy, mommy, hot, and I'm with the 3 other girls who were gravitated towards me, were only talking to me, and I'm just pushing back shots because I'm like, I don't even want to be sober right now. So she comes up to me and she's like, oh, they just asked to have a threesome. I said, you're fucking joking, right? Are you actually joking? And she's like, well, I got their number and we're gonna go over to their villa when you're done with your tattoo. So I was like, okay, why did you invite me again? So those girls leave, right? And now it's just me and her as I'm getting the rest of my tattoo done. And she immediately goes cold to me, stops talking to me. And then my tattoo is done and the girls come to pick us up to take us to their villa. This one girl, and I'm gonna name her, Francesca, she got out of the front and she literally was like, I'll sit on your lap, to my freaking girlfriend. I look at her and I'm like, no, you're not, bro. What are you doing? So then automatically the tension in the car was so awkward. My girlfriend didn't even want me sitting on her. I could literally feel the energy. So I felt like I was just going along for the ride to make sure that she wasn't cheating on me. Like, that's literally what I felt like I was there for. And then we get to the villa and I turn to my girl, who I'm still friends with to this day. And I asked her if she could take me to the bathroom because I needed a second away from what was going on. Yeah, that next part. So my girl, she comes into the room with me, the bathroom with me, and she's the one to say to me, girl, what is your girlfriend on? Like, she's being way too friendly. So what do? I immediately start crying because I, of course, felt validated, and I thought I was going crazy, but no, other people could see it too. And she's like, girl, I got your back. None of my friends are touching her. She is a freaking weirdo. Because the 3 girls that were talking to me, that gravitated towards me, they apparently were a separate friend group from the 2 girls that they were with. They all met that same night. So she was like, look, if you need a place to stay, we're going back to our villa soon. You can come with us. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. We go downstairs, and you will not believe what I see, what I saw. I don't even know if I can say it. My girlfriend was in the pool of the villa without a top on and holding Francesca in her arms, pressed against her, pouring a shot of Don Julio in her mouth. Saying, come here, sexy, come here, mommy. Bro, it gets worse. It gets worse. Just wait. So I go up to her and I say, you know, I'm gonna leave. I don't deserve to sit here and watch this, so I'm gonna go. And she looks at me and says, if you leave, I'm gonna hurt tonight. So I said, okay, bet. And I walked up over to my girl and I said, I'm ready to leave. And they all turned to her and started screaming at her for me. I didn't even have to say a single word. It was like I had a little posse, like a movie scene. But we get all the way to the front of the villa when I realize I still have her phone in my bag. So the girls are like, stay here. We're gonna run it back to her. You don't go anywhere. Stay right here. So they run back to the villa and I'm at the front now and I just hear blood-curdling screams. And I'm like, what is going on? So then I see them running out of the front of the villa, literally running for their life. They're like, we are leaving with or without you. We are leaving right now. Your girlfriend is a psychopath. I'm like, what is going on, bro? They said that the look in her eyes when they gave the phone back to her was the scariest thing that they've ever seen in their life. And the thing is, I know exactly that look. So they leave because something, of course, in me told me to stay with her. And they leave, they get my number, they're like, make sure that you're okay, please text us, please stay safe, like, we love you, we're here for you. And yeah, I went back to go find her, and she was laying in the bushes saying that her ankle was broken. So I picked her up and took her to the front of the villa and got us a taxi, took us to the hotel, and of course had to have security escort her once again. Bro. And what did I do the next day? Still kiss on her, still love on her, be like, baby, let's pretend yesterday didn't happen, let's pretend today's your birthday. Oh my god. So like I said, we woke up the next day, I still tried to love on her, kiss on her, act like nothing happened the 2 nights before, that let's have a good day today statement, you know. She turns to me, pushes me away, and says, we're done, Liv. I told my mom, we're broken up. So in my head, it's over, because when moms get involved, the game is done. And but then she goes on to call her right in front of me on speakerphone, and her mom says, oh, hi honey, how was your birthday? Because she didn't speak to her, she didn't speak to anyone on her birthday, she slept the entire day away. And she goes on to say, oh, it was terrible, Olivia completely ruined it. So I'm not gonna let that happen, especially 2 feet away from me. So I hop in and I say, why don't you tell her that you tried to girls right in front of me? And needless to say, that was the start to the end. The start to the frickin' end. The final straw that broke the camel's back happened. And that's all it took for me to pack my bags and book the nearest flight out of Mexico back to the States. Called my mom, told her everything that happened, and I was out. But what happened was I got blocked. All of the pictures got removed immediately, like I was the one who did something wrong. And that's what started the social media snowball, even though they were the one to come to me, pressing me, saying that if I took it to social media, they would pursue legal action. That was the first thing said to me, not an apology. Frickin' bruh. And look, I never wanted to take it to social media, but it's come to a point where I'm posting normal content and I'm getting pressed about it, as if I'm posting anything alluding to what actually happened. Okay, you're poking the bear. You poked the bear. This is, quote unquote, what I was told by my ex. Have an amazing life, Olivia. Truly, I hope you find your soulmate. It's not me. Best wishes and have a great life. If you do not want any more troubles, then do not go to social media. If you do want to post about our breakup, I will sue you and your family, my baby, until you can no longer put food on y'all's table. And you know that's the truth. Bye, sweet, beautiful angel. I will meet you in the next lifetime. So I just want to add to the context of everything. When I left Mexico, she stayed there for another 12 days. And in those 12 days, she would not answer anybody in her life besides me. So me, being the person I am, still cared for her physical well-being and reached out to her multiple times throughout those 12 days to make sure that she was getting home to the States successfully. We didn't go no contact until after I got all of my things back from our apartment. And to be honest, we didn't end on terrible, terrible terms. And I don't know if that was a subconscious thing on my end from wanting to be able to get all my things back in perfect tact, or if it was a trauma bond. Truly, I don't know. But the second that we went no contact and I was able to solely process my emotions and everything that I went through, I'm angry. I have so many freaking questions, but you know what? I've learned that some of those questions are better left unanswered. Seriously, I don't even want to know. And I've taken the time. I've taken the time to try and stay silent, protect someone's peace who has done nothing but disturb my own. But then when I get a text message by the same person telling me that what I have been posting online has tarnished the love that we shared, that it's disturbing their healing journey. What healing journey? What are you having to heal from? I'm the one having to relearn how to love myself, love others, trust others. All you did was lose me. And I'm not going to sit back and get a text message like that and let it go unspoken. Sorry, but I've been quiet for too long. Thanks for listening to my story. Hi guys. So I just wanted to take a second to come on here and thank every single one of you for all of the support, all of the messages. I'm truly a little bit overwhelmed, so I can't really respond to a lot of them right now, so I thought I would just make this video. But I also want to remind anybody who is going through a similar situation, a similar circumstance, that you are not alone, and do not be silenced or guilted into not being able to share your story, because it is your experience and nobody can take that away from you. And if that person truly didn't want those things to be said about them, maybe they shouldn't have done those things. And sometimes it does take a step back to realize just how bad those things were that happened to you. I'm currently in Vegas. I was with all my best friends last night, and now I am preparing to move to San Diego. So I'm happy to take you guys. But I hope you're okay. I'm overall just very excited to take you guys along for the journey, and I truly believe that my healing is starting now. Thank you guys. I love y'all.
Whoa! Guess who just got a season this is?
Very, very cutesy. Very demure. Very mindful.
Okay, so I wasn't even gonna make this video, but after obviously Liv came out with everything and my recent situation with Sedona, I felt called to share because my experience shared a lot of similarities to her experience. Mind you, her and I had a very short situationship, so that's obviously very alarming considering they were in a very long-term relationship. Long story short, a friend had set us up and we kind of, immediately connected. She's very charming and very good, I think, at like showing you this very sweet side to her that I think, can be very attractive to the normal girl. So then we FaceTimed, and immediately the next day she was like, I want to come see you. She booked her flight, and then I guess she woke up and she was sober the next day, canceled her flight. Then she's like, I really want you to come see me. And so we're talking for, a week longer at this point, a week and a half longer. I'm like, okay, like I'll go see you. In total, I was there for like 2 days. I go, she seems really sweet, like very level-headed, very normal, to the point where I left the trip and I was like, why don't you come to New York and spend Pride with me and meet some of my friends? To then, this is where everything went south, and this was the last time I ever saw her again, and I will ever let a woman or anyone ever put their hands on me again. So this is where everything goes south. We go to my friend's party. Mind you, a lot of my friends are older, they're married, they have babies, but it was an open bar. My friends had bartenders at their apartment, but everyone was just chill, having drinks, celebrating Pride. And so she starts drinking, and at one point in the day, okay, I'm cutting you off, like being serious but kind of joking at the same time, and I'm giving her water, and I'm like, you're cut off, like you're not allowed to drink anymore. Like I could tell I had to kind of babysit her, so I couldn't really enjoy myself. And I knew she was very drunk because she kept going around to all my friends and telling them that she wants to marry me, that she wants to make me her wife, that she's falling in love with me and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, this girl's drunk, like this is very weird. Everyone knows this is my second time meeting her. Mind you, I am still healing from my engagement. Like marriage is so the last thing on my mind, let alone a relationship. So then we are sitting in the corner and she starts talking to me and she's like, I'm like falling in love with you, like, and I'm like, this is really weird, like you don't know me and I don't know you. And then she starts crying and I'm like, okay, like let's go inside to talk, like this is so embarrassing. I walk inside, I don't even know where she goes. She goes into a room and I'm like, honestly, I need a break, it's fine if we don't need to talk right now. So I'm going to talk to my friends and they're like, are you okay, like what's going on? I'm like, yeah, she's just like kind of a lot, like I can't handle this, it's very overwhelming. And they're like, yeah, it's very weird, very alarming behavior. 40 minutes go by, I even text her, I go, where are you? No response. 40 minutes go by, I'm like, okay, I should probably make sure this girl's like not throwing up in the bathroom or something. I find her passed out on the floor of my friend's guest bedroom, and I walk in with my friend, and my friend still to this day, similar to Liv's video, goes, I will never forget the look in her eyes, like there was something dead, like it was so scary. I walk in with my friend, two of my friends, and she's passed out on the floor. I go, all right, get up, like we have to go, like let's go. She runs out of the apartment with no shoes on. Mind you, this girl's 6'7", I'm 5'2". I am chasing after her, trying to be nice because I'm like, this girl, we're in New York City, she doesn't know, like, like, what the fuck, like, I feel responsible for this person. I'm running after her, she's running away from me, I'm trying to grab her hand, to hold her hand and say, hey, let's talk, like, just really trying to de-escalate the situation, like, let's just walk home and we'll talk about this, like, it's not a big deal, I'm gonna get you food, like, you're gonna be fine, go to bed. She is so angry at this point. I think that she got caught, like, being, drunk on the floor, which, honestly, I didn't like that, but at the same time, like, if that's the worst thing, that this girl was super drunk, like, I'll let that slide. It was her getting aggressive with me. I'm trying to have her hand. She's yelling at me in the streets, pushing my hand away, shoving me, fucking shoving me. And I end up getting her in the house. We're talking. Her mood is changing every 2 minutes. 1 minute, she's like, I'm so sorry, crying, like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm so sorry I did that, like, I know I shouldn't have gotten so drunk, like, and then she's being like, well, this is your fault, like, blame it on me. And I'm like, well, I've never experienced this type of, like, back and forth behavior. It was so weird. And I was like, please just get in the shower and like go to bed. Like I just don't even want to deal with this. She gets up, she's pushing my chairs, slamming her phone on my table, getting aggressive with me. I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know if you're gonna put your hands on me again like you did in the fucking streets in public, or if you're gonna hurt me in my apartment and I'm not gonna be able to have anyone help me. At least if I'm in public, people can help me. At that point, when she's getting really aggressive inside, I was like, I turn to the side and I'm crying and I just tell myself, I'm like, she is trying to scare me. She's trying to scare me. She wants me to be afraid of her and I'm not gonna let that happen. So I take a deep breath and I look her dead in the eyes. I go, you are not going to disrespect me in my house. Get in the fucking shower and go to bed. And I don't know how I must have said it, but she did it. She went in the shower and then tries to go to bed. I'm trying to make this short, but anyway, she wakes up at 5 a.m. and goes on a walk and goes to get donuts and come back and is like, oh, like, can we, like, let's talk. Like, it's trying to be really sweet to me. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just so sorry. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I have no sympathy for you and the way that you acted. Like, I don't think I can get over that and I need you to change your flight. then she'd be like, I understand. She's trying to manipulate me, crying. And I'm like, no, like, you need to leave. She's like, do you want to go watch the parade? Do you want to go this? I go, no, like, you need to change your flight and you need to leave my house. Like, I will never speak to you again. She gets to the airport. She sends me this whole paragraph. She's so sorry. A couple days later is when I say, hey, I just want to let you know, let's talk in a couple days, because I just wanted things to cool down. Like, I felt like she was in a very altered state. And then I say to her, listen, obviously it's not going to work out. So I ended it. So I've been in contact with Liv, and I'm so grateful that us girls can like be there for each other, and I can, you know, validate her experience, and I'm glad the whole world is as well. You know, I've been able to chicken on her and put her in contact with great lawyers, even though she has literally zero to worry about. But yeah, domestic violence and abuse can happen in any relationship, homosexual, heterosexual. So I hope that this can be a lesson for some people. Also, if everyone's telling you that this person is not a good person, trust me, they're not misunderstood. Like, that's what I thought. I thought, wow, she's so charming, she's so sweet to me, like, she has to be misunderstood. People just hate her. Nope. Some people really are not well and are not good people. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share this experience to, again, validate Liv, but then also be like, you know. And also just to share that, like, it doesn't matter how long you've known this person or not. Like I said, I did not really know this person, and she acted this way toward me, and what had happened in Mexico only happened apparently a month or two prior. So clearly she did not learn. I don't even know what else to say, but this is my story, and thank you for listening if you've gotten this far, and I hope that if anyone else has a story being a victim of her and her abuse, that you come forward. Do not be scared. The truth is always the defense.
This is a dangerous person, okay? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This is not the first time one of Sedona's ex-girlfriends has come to the internet to talk about how unsafe, how dangerous, and how scary she is. This is now the second girlfriend who has now come forward to share her terrifying story of her relationship with Sedona. This is not a safe person. If you're being courted, love-bombed, communicated with in a way that makes it seem like she's interested in you, I suggest you stop. Sedona needs a psychotherapist. Sedona doesn't need another girlfriend because it's only going to escalate again. If you remember the initial girlfriend story, you will remember how horrible that story was. And now, as of yesterday, her most recent ex-girlfriend told the story about how they went on a trip to Mexico and that they took an ATV ride at the nighttime, as per Sedona's request. Sedona drove crazily into the jungle, pushed her girlfriend off of the ATV, and left her girlfriend in the jungle. Sedona shouldn't be talking to anyone but a therapist. So ladies, please, before you consider a relationship with Sedona, please listen to the stories of her two ex-girlfriends who have told in grave detail to the internet how dangerous and how scary she actually is behind closed doors. And for the love of God, Sedona, please go get therapy. A lot of people don't understand how Sedona is able to continue to get into relationships after her previous behavior from past relationships is so prevalently online. But if you've never been love bombed before, if you've never been emotionally manipulated by an intimate partner, then it's very hard to understand how this continues to happen. When I was 18 years old, I entered a relationship with someone who was 5 years older than I was, and that person love bombed me. That person emotionally manipulated me. They used money, they used their age, they used all different techniques to control and manipulate me to stay in this relationship far longer than I ever should have for my own safety, for my own mental health. It was the worst relationship I had ever been in my life. And that is why I'm so weary of large age gap relationships, because I have seen what happens when someone who is much younger than their partner gets manipulated, gets controlled, and ends up in an abusive situation. But in Sedona's case, what she does is she love bombs them in the beginning. She makes it seem like she's so in love. She buys the gifts, she makes the videos, she writes the poems, she writes the letters, she shows them off to the world and makes them feel very, very important. And that attention and that support makes someone fall in love very easily. But what happens is once she finds out that she has complete and utter control over that person, the flip of the switch happens. And that is what happened. Someone said there's a third relationship. I don't know about a third relationship. I only know about Riley and Olivia. I don't know about the other relationship, but this is what's happened in both of those relationships. At the beginning, to the outside world, it seems like she is the most loving and supportive and amazing partner. And then after she gets full and complete control of her partner, then the flip of the switch happens. And all of her past relationships, well, the two that I've seen on the internet that have come forward to explain their stories, both of these women are very petite. Both of these women are at a much different body structure than Sedona. That also adds a power dynamic with the strength aspect of it. So all of these things combined can make a very dangerous situation, which is why I say that she is an unsafe person. And a lot of people are like, she doesn't need therapy, she needs to go to jail. And I hear you, and I understand you, and I absolutely get it, but that's probably not going to happen. But the more people are aware of of her behavior, the less people are going to want to be around her, and the more inclined she is to try to fix the issue, which is her. She is the issue. And I hope both Riley and Olivia understand that there was nothing that they could do to change the situation. There was nothing that they could do to make this relationship work. It was bound to not work because the person they were in a relationship with needs a psychotherapist. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just an old geriatric 34-year-old lady who has experienced a relationship like this that wishes that she could tell younger me to not do that. So here I am, the old 34-year-old lady saying, please, if you feel like you're in a relationship where someone is love bombing you, emotionally manipulating you, or you feel like their love is really strong and you're not sure that you feel the same exact type of strong love that they do, then maybe take a step back. I just wish someone could have told me that many years ago. But it all ends up okay. I've been with my husband now for 12 years and have a very healthy and happy relationship. So if you are going through that, or this is something you've gone through and you think that you'll never find love, you'll never be able to trust anyone ever again, I'm here to tell you that I have seen the other side of it. And we've been together for 12 years and it is the healthiest relationship I've ever had in my entire life.
Every single time I hear something about this Sedona character, it's something so horrifically awful that I don't, it's so awful that I can't even comprehend how they're still allowed to have social media. Like, how are they not locked up? How? This person has been terrorizing people that they date for years and they still have 2.6 million followers. They're going, oh, basketball. Sorry. Consistently outed as an awful and I would say emotionally and mentally abusive person, at the very least, from what we've heard. I was in shock that this news story with Liv was about the same Sedona as the other person that they were with, because I was like, surely one person can't have this much of a negative impact on the world, but I was wrong.
I just got done watching Liv's series about her breakup with Sedona. Sorry, I'm sick. I sound awful. I've been sick for days. As we know, Sedona is a college basketball player, and she's gotten a lot of drama throughout the years because she kind of consistently cheats on her partners while simultaneously, shamelessly walking around with this sense of arrogance, despite everyone knows that they are a serial cheater. But when I tell you, there is nothing that could have prepared me for this woman's recount of what happened to her while in a relationship with Sedona, specifically when they went to Mexico together. I'm gonna tag her below. Please go watch her series, but you'll see that things got really dark and very sinister in a way. At one point in the story, Liv is talking about how Sedona wanted to go on an adventure late at night in Mexico, leave their phones at home, get on ATVs and go on an adventure in the pitch black. There was a point in this whole situation where Liv was alone in the jungle by herself in Mexico without a phone. Alone. Sedona left her. The things Sedona was doing to her girlfriend at the time were so beyond evil. I really think that Sedona wanted something bad to happen to Liv.
Begging her, screaming, please stop the ATV, please stop the ATV. And she stops it as hard as she can, shoves me to the ground, looks me dead in my eyes, and then takes off and leaves me in the pitch fucking black.
It's very obvious, and there's receipts to show she was directly trying to harm her mental health, but genuinely, I believe she wanted something bad to happen to her, because no one does that to someone they care about. This is so beyond. Go watch it and come back so we can have a conversation. Sedona needs to be locked up, behind bars.
Thoughts on Sedona and Liv? Queen, I don't know the details of the situation, and frankly, I'm always subjected to information on Sedona Prince. I'm never asking for it. It just ends up being shoved down my throat. Thing is, I've known for quite some time now that Sedona needs to be locked in a cage, and then they need to put that cage underwater. They need to send her ass to Atlantis, make her adapt, make her a mermaid or something. She might just need to enter a new realm of society and learn from her mistakes through that. I've seen a few videos accusing her of leaving her girlfriend in a jungle in Mexico. This is not Tarzan, this is not the Jungle Book. And I really don't have much to say. If I ever saw her in person, I might look at her funny, stare her down, and I might walk up to her and say, your outfit is bad. Trust me, I take this shit seriously. No, legitimately, she's abusive. She just needs to be deplatformed or something, I don't fucking know. She's just kind of crazy. I don't know.
Someone needs to tell me why Sedona is pulling these beautiful women, yet treats them the way that she does. Liv just came out and shared the Sedona story with us of her trip to Mexico, and when I tell you I am horrified and disgusted that this woman treated such a beautiful soul like this, she has serious issues that she needs to figure out. This woman, she's not a woman, she's a girl. This girl has the worst dating reputation I've seen in a long time. Okay? She dated Riley. Riley came out and said how terrible the relationship was and came out on everything. And now Liv comes out, and it is horrific, the things that Sedona put Liv through. Horrific. Abuse, frankly. Abusive and disgusting and so disturbing. She is a grade A manipulator and gaslighter and just... Oh, God. I'm so glad that Liv got out of that relationship. Talk about toxic. Toxic. It might be worse than toxic. I don't know what is worse than toxic. That is so sad. And I am so glad that she is safe and she has been able to heal, because I feel like these relationships are not talked about enough, in the sense of having these really toxic relationships that until you get out of, you're not able to fully comprehend how bad it was and that how badly you need to heal. So for Liv's sake, I wish her nothing but the most growth in loving herself and healing. And Sedona, I hope that your coach watches those and runs it back and you're removed from college sports, because why are we giving this woman a platform? Why are we giving this woman any limelight? She doesn't deserve it. Point blank, period. I need someone to answer who is interested in women as to why Sedona has this like vibe that like she gets these beautiful women when she looks the way she does and acts the way she does. Like, her personality sucks as well. So I guess I'm just confused as to how she's pulling these women. So as someone who is attracted to women, can you please explain it to me? Because if you watched Liv's video, she went on to say how Sedona was like, there were these girls in Mexico on their trip that were like calling her mommy and like hitting on her and stuff. I'm sorry, but if Liv and Sedona are in the same room, best believe y'all should be hitting on Liv, not Sedona. So I need someone to make it make sense to me, because it doesn't. Have you guys seen the videos that Liv made about Sedona? We all need to spread the word, because not a single woman should waste their time, their precious selves on that girl. I can't even say woman because she doesn't act like a woman. Like, the manipulation, the narcissism, the abuse, shoving someone off of an RV or an ATV, sorry. That's like next level crazy. Straight to the psych ward. I sincerely hope that Liv can heal, because that girl deserves everything. She seems so pure and so full of life, and I hope that she gets her full of lifeness back that she once had, because she deserves it. She seems so genuine and real, and I wish nothing but a full heal for that girl, because she deserves it. Sedona is canceled. She's done. You know what I think should happen? I think we need to have Riley and we need to have Liv come together. They need to become friends. And then they need to go on to Dr. Phil. And Sedona is like the messed up kid, and they're like the parents, and like she's exposed for who she really is. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's what needs to happen, because this girl has been hiding this behind this fake facade of like, I'm a golden retriever girlfriend. Blah. No, you're not. You're not. You're terrible. You're terrible. You ruined two fantastic, beautiful women with your manipulative, narcissistic bullshit. So that's what I think. And this is like once they're healed, because I know that could be very traumatic for them. And only if they're open to it. But I really think that they need to expose her for who she really is. Pushing someone off of a moving ATV is crazy. But pushing someone off of a moving ATV in the pitch black in a foreign country and then leaving them is even crazier. It's not giving cutesy. It's not giving demure. It's giving, you need to go to the psych ward. Stop telling everyone. I love how she told us when she and Riley broke up that she was a victim and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you got away with that once. Never again. Never again are you getting away with that. That is insane that we believed her in the first place. Or I don't even know if we really believed her, but it just kind of like left. Yeah, we're all now in a front row seat to her getting canceled, because this is atrocious. Atrocious.
You know what else I just thought about? Because I just keep replaying the videos of Liv in my head. She got thrown off of the ATV, okay? In the jungle and left. She's running back. Sedona comes, whips it, flips it over, wrecks the thing, okay? Then they park it in the woods and they get on their way back, okay? Oh, no, I missed a part. They waved down a group of men that helped them drag the thing, tow the ATV behind them. And then she was whipping it around and she made her fall off again. Scraped herself up, was bleeding. And Sedona told the guys that she didn't need their help anymore. And the ATV was totally wrecked. And the next day, she as in Olivia, went back, took it to the ATV place and paid $800 because it was totaled. So you're telling me that Olivia paid $800 because Sedona wrecked it. And then Sedona barely really had any scratches on her, but Olivia Olivia brought up a medical team to help her, and the medical team literally assessed them both and said, Olivia, you actually have the worst scar, so we're gonna help you. And Sedona got mad that they helped her first. Oh my god! This is actually crazy, psychotic behavior. You're mad because they helped the other person that you injured? Go home. You cannot tell me that Sedona likes/loves women, because if you look at her history, it actually points to the same way we would think men who treat women this way don't actually love women. She doesn't love women. She's lying. There's no freaking way that you love a woman, women actually, because she's done this shit with Riley too, that you love a woman or women and you do something this messed up. There's just no way. Like, it's actually diabolical to me. I keep replaying the videos in my head. I keep thinking about it. I'm like, oh my god, this is next level. Her throwing her off the ATV, that's low-key attempted murder, okay? Her, like, doing the weird shit with the other girls, serial cheater. You have serious issues, hun. Work it out.
Oh, and one more thing on the Sedona topic. I'm gonna sue you for defamation. You'd think that somebody who's been in college for as long as she fucking has knows the definition of defamation. For those of you that don't know, defamation means communicating false statements, which nobody's done. So really you're suing people because you're uncomfortable about the truths that are being spoken about you. And if that's the fucking case, you're gonna have to sue me too. And a lot of other people on this fucking app. Hold up. Fucking rewind for 1 second, bro. I wasn't gonna comment on this shit anymore because at this point it's comical, but let me just say one more thing. This girl needs to learn when to stop fucking talking, bro. Stop opening your mouth. You're just making shit worse for yourself. She just went to her fucking story and made some statement about how she's receiving death threats and all of the things that are happening to her poor family and her are vile and disrespectful and all the things. I'm sorry, did you not tell Liv that you were gonna sue her and her family until they could no longer put food on the table? Is that not just a candy-coated death threat? Is that not essentially the same thing that you claim other people are doing to you now? Only difference is people are being a lot more blunt and direct about it. And the worst part is, her whole family are narcissists. And you can't change a narcissist.
Not to make light of a very serious situation, but what the fuck do people see in Sedona? I'm sorry, but she is so fugly. And like all of her girlfriends are fucking gorgeous. And then she's a creature.
Okay, so between everything that Riley and Olivia has shared, y'all are all done fucking with the Jolly Green Giant, right? I am not gonna say her name because it's not deserved, but we know who we're talking about. I mean it, I don't wanna see not ne'er a petite brunette girl dating this woman because she's a monster. Admittedly, I too, in my early TikTok days, followed her. I'm gay, she's tall, but we are all aware she's just tall, right? And that is not me shaming or blaming any of the people who've been victims of that. In fact, I commend y'all for coming out and sharing your experiences. Speaking of somebody who used to be in a relationship with someone who treated finding new ways to lie to and manipulate me like an Olympic sport, and they were getting the gold every time, baby. And as somebody who was in another relationship where I was the emotional, mental, and financial heavy, meanwhile, I couldn't even get the other person to pick me up from the airport and became way too familiar with not feeling seen or heard. I'm letting you know that you deserve better. Not only do you deserve it, but it's out there. I know that's hard to believe when you're giving your everything to somebody who is repeatedly victimizing themselves. But it's true, and it can't come until you start putting your own joy and peace before preserving someone else's. Especially somebody who probably did not deserve you to begin with. We can't let the Arizonas win, y'all. I love you. Great talk.
Not only did Sedona push Liv off of an ATV in the middle of the jungle in the pitch black at night, Sedona had specifically requested that they leave their phones at their hotel. In a foreign country, in the middle of the night, in the jungle, and like her reasoning was that she wanted to be in the moment. But like, you can't fucking use your phone and drive an ATV at the same time. So Sedona drove Liv against her will, as she was asking her to stop, into a pitch black jungle, against her will, pushed her off of the ATV, and drove away, knowing that her girlfriend was in a jungle in a foreign country in the middle of the night, without a phone. And even if Sedona was like, I was always going to come back, I was always going to turn around right away, do you know how many fucking wild animals can get to a person before the fucking ATV you drove away could? You knew what you were doing when you did that, and that is why everybody agrees that you need to be locked in a cage. On behalf of Eugene, Oregon, I feel as though I should come on and say that we have no claim or affiliation with Sedona Poopy Pants. We are all watching and have been watching in abject horror as she has burned her own career to the ground since its beginning. Like, what are you doing? Prison, jail time, prison time. Send her to jail! If you're missing out on what's happening with the Sedona Prince situation, allow me to catch you up a little bit. Also, trigger warning, because this woman is absolutely insane and terrifying. Sedona and her now ex-girlfriend Via went to Mexico for Sedona's birthday. Shortly after getting there, they got in a car accident. Things weren't off to a very good start, but they decided to continue with their trip. Sedona had been mad at Via for not planning anything, so Via planned this entire trip, and then once they were on the trip, Sedona was like, well, now I'm mad that I didn't get to plan anything. So then Via was like, okay, now you can plan things. Sedona wants to get an ATV, so they get an ATV. Sedona is driving the ATV and getting progressively faster and more out of control, and is getting farther and farther away from any kind of civilization and closer to the jungle where there are, like, Panther warnings. So Via is like, hey, can you turn around? Can you please stop swerving everywhere? Can you stop being fucking insane? If you've ever been in a moving vehicle as a passenger with somebody who is acting erratic and scary, it's one of the most terrifying experiences you can have. People die in those situations. Sedona brakes as hard as she can, pushes Via off of the ATV, and then drives away. Sedona abandoned her girlfriend in a jungle after pushing her off of an ATV after her girlfriend was repeatedly begging her to stop the vehicle. And that's not even the worst fucking part of the story. A group of people are trying to help them get the ATV back to their hotel, and the whole time Sedona is yelling at Via and breaking up with her. Via proceeds to be a literal complete saint. I would have committed war crimes at this point, honestly. She decides to get a medical team up to the hotel room to help Sedona with all the injuries from the ATV rolling. Because, oh yeah, the ATV also rolled at some point. And then Sedona legitimately gets mad that Via's injuries were worse than her, so she required medical support first. Insane. Insane. After you abandoned her in the jungle. But of course it's all Via's fault, so Sedona decides to go get tattoos. And then is texting Via about how she's like getting drunk before getting tattoos, and Via should pull up to the tattoo parlor to get tattoos while drunk. That's a really dangerous decision, my guy. But Via goes, and she gets there, and there are these two girls just blatantly flirting with Sedona in front of her. And they all go back to this place they're staying, and the whole time Sedona is being like super cold to Via and super flirty with these other girls. They're like at this villa. Via leaves the room for a few minutes, comes back to see Sedona and Francesca in a compromising situation in the pool or the hot tub, some body of water, I don't know, and somebody wasn't wearing a shirt, and Via was like, what? And then these three other girls that she'd become friends with that night start yelling at Sedona for her. That is still not the straw that broke the camel's back. Via stays still. Sedona's mom calls Sedona to ask her how her birthday is, and she says, oh, Via ruined the whole thing. I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? They finally break up, right? I am literally just going to post a screenshot of Sedona's final text to Via because it is so diabolical. I genuinely don't know if you guys will believe me if I just tell you what it says. This is Sedona's legitimate last text to Via. Have an amazing life, Olivia. Truly. I hope you find your soulmate. It's not me. Best wishes. And have a great life. If you do not want any more troubles, then do not go to social media. If you do want to post about our breakup, I will sue you and your family. My baby. Until you can no longer put food on y'all's table, and you know that's the truth. Bye, sweet, beautiful angel. I will meet you in the next lifetime. You're insane! You're insane! You're insane! So Sedona posted the most disgustingly invalidating self-victimization Instagram story I've ever seen. This is not helping your case, my guy. Not that anything possibly ever would at this point. There's so much judgment and scrutinization by many from afar, with opinions and verbal attacks on stories with false narratives and inaccurate information that do not give honesty and with transparency. That is not a grammatically correct sentence in any way, shape, or form. This is reckless and disheartening. No one deserves to go through anything like this. Do you think Via deserved to be thrown off of an ATV, abandoned in the jungle without a phone in a foreign country, and then cheated on? Do you think that she deserved that, Sedona? I'm really glad that you're able to focus on your well-being and your mental health when you clearly have not given a single fuck about anybody else's. I don't know what she anticipated the response to this Instagram story to be when everybody was anticipating a Darvo in the comments. She denied, she attacked, and she fucking reversed the victim and offender. Case in fucking point. Like, you're just laying all of your cards out on the table for us, my guy. I sure hope you take a lot of time off of everything to work on your mental health, because it needs some serious fucking work, and I hope your legal counsel gets you arrested.
We've all seen it now, right? The Who Did I Bring to Mexico With Me series on Via's TikTok. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's like 10 parts. Basically, she's explaining the end of their relationship, their trip to Mexico, which is absolutely disturbing and terrifying to hear. And I cannot even imagine what actually went on in the relationship even before that trip. At this point, Sedona has turned off her comments on several of her videos, especially in the beginning of the page, and for good reason. People are calling her out, trying to hold her accountable for what she did. I don't think we're going to hear a response from her for quite a bit, and we actually might not hear from her in all honesty. But I think if we do hear from her, we're going to see something very similar to what she did with Riley, which she's going to come out with all the moments where she broke Riley, which of course were kind of bad too. So I think she's going to come out with situations where she broke Olivia and Olivia stuck up for herself, and obviously that comes off looking really bad if you don't know the entire background. So before that happens, I think everyone needs to prepare for that, just because I know people went down Riley's throat after all of that, but imagine being in a relationship with someone like that. I mean, I was in a relationship with someone similar. These people like Sedona who traumatize their relationships or are just terrible people. They are going to push and push until you break. And I'm sure there were plenty of times that Olivia broke, and if Sedona comes out with receipts for any time Olivia broke, we need to understand what the fuck that she went through and give her grace for that. Okay, just making sure we're all clear when Sedona decides to try and double back about how she's acting. Okay, thanks, bye. Yesterday I posted a video basically explaining what I think Sedona might do next in this situation where Via had her 10-part series talking about some of the abuse that she endured while in this relationship with Sedona, specifically the very last part of the relationship while they were in Mexico.
My video pretty much explained Sedona coming out with evidence of reactive abuse from Via and how we need to make sure that we give her grace if Sedona does do that. The comments are flooded with people educating other people about reactive abuse and what that looks like, and that is absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that people are starting to talk about this because I don't think it's been talked about enough in the past. Something I want to talk about real quick, because I got a lot of comments like this basically saying that Via had posted a video yesterday stating that she was served with a cease and desist. Now, what I think everybody should understand about this cease and desist is the fact that obviously it doesn't hold a lot of value. Cease and desist are basically given when one party realizes that they're probably fucked and they want to stop it from getting any worse. So basically, it's literally just a warning saying you're going down a slippery slope that we don't want you going down. You may be doing something illegal in our eyes. You might not be, but like in their eyes, you may be doing something illegal or something that they feel is illegal, and they want to just give you this little warning being like, oops, I think you made a mistake. Let's stop this. And I guess it's like a scare tactic. I don't think anybody needs to be worried about it. I don't even think Via needs to be worried about it. Obviously, Sedona said that she would sue her until she can no longer eat. But I also think that's a scare tactic, that it was a way to make sure that Via never said anything to show who Sedona is. Via has enough proof of what happened in Mexico to not be sued for defamation of this very poorly, not famous. She's not famous. So is Sedona famous? I don't find her famous. Anyways, regardless, if Sedona does sue, okay, that blonde girl who's on here, she's a lawyer. Shouldn't Via just countersue for like emotional distress, right? I feel like it'd be so dumb for Sedona to sue because of the information that Via does have. Like either the case would just get thrown out, or Via would win for emotional distress, or Via sues for emotional distress, and then because of reactive abuse, then Sedona sues for emotional distress. Either way, it goes nowhere, and the internet just knows Sedona's a terrible person. Also, sign that petition to make sure she doesn't play any more basketball, because, good lord, this woman does not need to play any more basketball. She's good. She just needs to move along. Anyways, that's what I got.
I've been a certified Sedona hater since 2020, so everyone hop on a board. I work with the mentally ill and dangerous, and after hearing this latest story of what she's done to this new, beautiful young woman, she's giving mentally ill and dangerous, okay? And we cannot be letting her run rampant any longer, ruining anyone else's lives. It's sickening. I don't see what people see in her, no offense. But it's not the personality, and I can't say for sure it's her looks, you know? I can't. I don't know what people see in her, but she pulls women, and then she ruins them emotionally in different traumatizing ways very publicly, and then pulls another one and does it again. And it's fucked. And I'm gonna say right now, I'm not here to be a bully. It's okay to be mentally ill or have something wrong up there, but it's not okay to abuse someone like that and then traumatize them and probably ruin them emotionally for a very long time. You need to go get some help, Sedona, okay? And I know you'll get off social media for 6 months and come back a barking that people need to stop bullying you. But fuck you, you know? That's all I gotta say. I just want to reply to this comment quick because I want to make it very clear that people who struggle with their mental health or BPD or any other personality disorder, they're not horrible people. They're just struggling internally. And most of the time, people work on themselves so that they don't do this. As someone who struggled with my mental health, it's brought out the nastiest traits that I have. But the problem with Sedona, she doesn't take time to fix herself or work on herself, and then she brings someone else in her life and ruins them emotionally, and then continues to do it multiple times, and then doesn't take accountability, doesn't take time to figure it out or be self-aware. And to me, it's sick. You know you're hurting someone, you've done it multiple times. You need to step back. But what she does is she disappears off social media, takes no accountability, and then acts like a victim. And that's where it's fucked up. And that's where I'm like, fuck you, you know? 'Cause you're making people look bad.